Coming up today, we got Trump still urging Jerome to cut rates and saying that he's still not doing a good job. We got some great news and more news with the China and the US trade war and some just new things, new events. And we also have to talk about option expiration. With that being said, I'm gonna give you guys some plays, support, some resistance, news, and everything to look for with the stock market today. Keep in mind, today is Friday, so we do have expiration for option plays, so you might see a little bit more volatility in the market. And honestly, man, we have been kind of up and down with the markets, especially if we look in NVIDIA a little bit. We kind of just been bouncing around this range, bouncing around the 132 all the way up to the 135 to 136 level. But we have been getting better news, better deals, and stuff like that with NVIDIA, and just better deals overall for the overall stock market, especially if you're watching stocks like the S&P 500. We did break that 590 level, so I really want to see if it stays above that 590. If we can hold above the 590 to the 591.5, we can probably see it up even more to the 593, 594, and maybe all the way up to the 595. And maybe even next week and or today, if we just get some great news today, we might even see that 600 level. I remember when that thing was at 600 around last year, and honestly, man, everybody was kind of surprised. But honestly, man, we are back in the bull rally. But honestly, at the same time, we might see a little bit of a sell-off coming out soon. With that being said, let's get started. I put everything that I learned to become profitable in the stock market in this trading PDF, and this is going to help you get into long-term swing trades, day trades. It's going to help out with everything, but I named it long-term because I give you guys a list of 40 stocks on to invest for your long-term, why to invest, what they do, everything that you really need to know, and it guides you through trading, charts, everything you really need to learn about trading overall. Check it out. First link in the description below. If not, it's okay. Watching is just enough. And don't forget to subscribe. So first, we might see one rate cut this year and no recession, but the recession odds are still there, especially because we haven't really seen what tariffs are truly doing, and we still have at least 10% minimum for other countries, and we can probably see more retaliations if we don't cut that or get deals soon. And other companies are already reporting it, like Walmart and other companies. We have earnings coming out soon that can bring tariff prices up even more. So keep that in mind, because tariff prices, consumers are going to be spending more, and with the rates not being cut right now, people can't really borrow as much. And honestly, man, it's probably like the dot-com era, you know? NVIDIA is planning a research center and new commitment to China. So we are getting way more deals with China, and honestly, just getting our reach more into China, and hopefully China can get more reach into the USA, and we just honestly just get a great deal with China and the US. Next up is indeed Europe, and just getting Europe more on board, selling more to Europe, basically putting more of the US products into Europe and getting better tariff deals with that. So hopefully we can get some good news with that soon. So back to Jerome and Trump basically saying that it is too late already, but he's still urging him to cut the rates as soon as possible. But I mean, we still have one rate cut coming out soon, especially if we don't see recession. But at the same time, recession is still here on the table. So keep that in mind for the markets, because if we get into another recession, we might even see new lows than the lows that we got recently. So just be very, very cautious with that, and be very, very cautious that the market might sell off. But right now, we're looking very, very bullish, especially with all the news that we're getting out. But honestly, man, one bad headline, one bad deal can bring the market down again. Trump really just wants a long-term deal with China, because right now it's all short-term, but we are kind of itching more towards a longer-term deal, even when Trump is out of office. And they're making deals to work with both economies, basically. Like I said before, just bringing both economies connected, basically more connected. That being said, let's look at some stocks, support, some resistance, and just levels to watch. Especially as a day trader, you guys want these levels because we have potential of it bouncing. So first off, for the SPY to the downside, look at 591. That 590 level is going to be key, and then 588.5, and then below that 587.5, 585, and then look at that 580 level to the downside. But that's only if we get a big sell. We did see some Fridays where we did get a big sell, so keep that in mind. But honestly, man, last Friday wasn't too bad, and maybe we might even get another rally depending on how news goes. And watch the levels I said before to the upside for the SPY. So like I said, today is Friday, May 16th. We do have import price index minus the fuel, housing starts, building permits. So this can really change maybe the direction of the market for a little bit. This is an hour before market opens, so keep this data on your mind and on your radar. And then we do have consumer sentiment, and this is 30 minutes after market opens. So keep all of these on your mind and on your radar for today. That being said, let's look at Apple. So honestly, man, like I said before, a lot of these key tech stocks, we've kind of just been bouncing up and down. So for Apple, look at that 212.5, 212.8, and then all the way up to that 214 level. If you can break above that, look at 215 and 220 to the downside. Look at 211.2, 210, and then all the way down to 209.3 for the lows. If we break below that, look at 208, and then 207 to the downside, and then 205, and then 200. Next is Nvidia. We have been getting some great deals. Nvidia has been looking pretty decent, but we honestly did start selling off at first, and then we got some decent news bringing the stock market back up overall, and Nvidia kind of got into that rally too, especially with some deals getting made to buy more chips and just expanding AI in general. With that being said, to the upside, look at 136.3, 136.6, and then out of the little levels, let's get some bigger levels. So 137.5, and then all the way up to that 140 level. If we can finally break 140, look at 141, and then all the way up to 145 to that 150 level to the downside. If we do start selling off, look at 135, and then 134.5, and then all the way down to 133.6, and then 132.8, and then 132 flat, and then all the way down to that 130 level for Nvidia. I don't think we're gonna have big moves unless we get big news, so keep that in mind. Palantir has been looking pretty decent, but also jumping up and down and not really holding the 130 level. With that being said, to the upside, do look at that 130. If you can break above that, 130.5, 132, 133.5, and then all the way up to that 135 level. To the downside, we have a little bit of a downside risk. For Palantir, I have been noticing that we do get a big buy window at first, and then it starts selling off, and then it maybe comes back at the end of the day, so keep that in mind. But to the downside, look at 128.6, 127.5, and then all the way down to the lows of 125.5 basically, and then 125 and that 120 level for Palantir. Next is going to be Tesla. Tesla has been moving pretty decent, but kind of up and down like before. So look at that 350, and then all the way past that 350 of the highs. If we can break above 350, look at 355 and 360. To the downside, look at 345, and then all the way down and down to that 340 level, and then 335, and then 330. Next is an interesting stock that I've gotten into and is moving with the other chip sectors, and basically AMD. So AMD, they did just have a $6 billion buyback. Not really too major for the company, but if chip stocks are going up, it's going to go up too. But honestly, we have been looking bearish in the short term. We did have a little bit of a rally coming up, but now we're kind of looking more bearish. So for the downside for AMD, look at 116 flat, and then below that, look at 115, and then 114. If we break below 114, look at 113.5, and then 112. To the upside, look at 118.3, 119.10, and then that 120 level is going to be key. If we can break above 120, look at the highs of 122.5 and then 125. Next, let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been another one that's just been jumping up and down, like 105 and then all the way down to like 103 to 102. We even seen 101 the other day. With that being said, if you guys are trading Bitcoin, I recommend trading MSTR and Coinbase and also some other ones. But Coinbase does have some bad news. It's getting more into legal issues. They basically just misstated their users, and basically just anybody who verified their email, and that's how they did it. But they're kind of just getting into that little bit of an issue. So Coinbase can go to the downside, especially if you see Bitcoin start selling off. You could play Coinbase to the downside, especially since Coinbase has bad news. But if we go over to option plays, it's around $2,000 for an option play. MSTR is around 3,000 to 3,500 for in the money. 3,000 for in the money. But one that I recommend looking at is IBIT, and it's an ETF that moves with Bitcoin pretty cheap. It's like $60. If we go to the option plays, it's like $300 for in the money, and that is honestly pretty cheap, especially if you don't want to risk, $3,000 for a trade. And just to be in the money, and out of the money, it's like 100 to $200. And this moves exactly with Bitcoin. So honestly, man, if you want to play some moves, over the night swing trades, weekly trades, monthly trades, day trades, you can use IBIT to follow Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin gets another rally and some good news. You can play IBIT and make a decent amount of money without risking too much. Next one we're going to talk about is UNH, United Health Group. And honestly, man, this one has been going through some issues too. We did see a lot of people make money yesterday. This was one play that I seen, but I didn't react. So I didn't really make any money on this one, but it is to the downside, and it has been for the past couple of days. But honestly, we are kind of rallying back up, but at the same time, you could probably play a little put option. Just be patient, see how it moves market open. But we have chances of it getting back down to 248.9. So that's honestly a big move, especially from 283. So honestly, just have your patience with this one, and if you see it start going in the bearish end, and there's no good news coming out, you can play this one pretty well. So with all the bad news United Health has gotten, they are getting degrades too for their price targets from like 510 all the way down to like 300 level. So keep that in mind, because that is some bad news, and that can bring the stock and the selling pressure up even more. So honestly, man, look at this one to the downside for now, but just see how it opens and react to like how the market open really is. Don't just jump the gun and try and get a option play and just lose a lot of money with that. So honestly, just have your patience with this one, but you can maybe make a decent amount of money, especially from 280 all the way down to like 250. That's a $30 move, and especially if we start making new lows, you can make a lot of money off this one. So keep this one in your mind and on your radar today. Just watch it. If it goes up, man, I wouldn't even play a call option. I'll just be patient and then just wait until you see a little dip and or a good selling opportunity. With that being said, overall, man, the stock market is looking okay, but we're kind of losing volume and momentum up to the upside. I think we just need more better news to move the market up and or just buyers to come in even stronger. And honestly, man, we might have a little bit of a pullback soon, but not too big. Don't expect, new lows and or, I think SPY maybe 580 level, maybe in the 70s. That's about it. Not too low. But honestly, man, I hope to see SPY at the 600 level soon and just a lot of good buying pressure overall. But honestly, just have your patience, man. Take it trade by trade, day by day, and have your patience. Comment down below any other stocks you guys want me to look at. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment or join the Discord.